right. It is 3:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to let everybody know that we are recording this session, and we put these all up on our YouTube channel as well as our website, so that will be available. So know that if you don't want to be on camera, I completely understand, and you can turn that off. But I do appreciate seeing you all here, so thank you for joining us. Again, in the chat will be the link for this presentation. It's a little bit different this time because I actually used Canva. So my presentation was done in Canva, and I'm going to use that to present. So let's see if this will work. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Nicole Howes, and you are here today, hopefully, to learn a little bit more about Canva. So before we jump in with all of that, all the pieces to it, I wanted to explain a little bit about what it is. And then we'll get into some of the different ways that you can use it. So Canva is actually a graphic design tool, which sounds a little scary at first. And I will say that there is a ton that you can do in here. So today I'm just going to scratch the surface for you and explain some of the basic things that you can do with it and encourage you to play around and try it out. But know that it is completely free for teachers. So we'll help you get signed up on your free account for today. And then it just makes everything look a little bit better. So like I said, I am using their presentation tool. This is one of their templates, and I just changed the words basically. So I can't take any credit for this, but I thought it was pretty cute. So I wanted to kind of share that for you. Again, Canva is completely free for educators, and it is a professional graphic design tool. As a matter of fact, you may have seen it in commercials. So I know that during football season, I saw it a lot. So I was like, we actually use that. We have those accounts, and I am using this amazing tool now that is out there in the real business world that people are using. So the accounts, like I said, are free for educators, and you'll see here that there is a link that you can go ahead and click on. So if you are in the presentation, you can click that, or you can just type it into a new tab so that you're still in the meet with us. That will get you to sign up for the free account. If you already have a free account and you're not sure if it's the educator's account, then you want to go ahead and go to that first, and then you'll follow these steps that we're going to do. And that way you don't lose any of the stuff that you've already created. It will actually merge your two accounts. So if you already have an account, go to that first, and then go to canva.com/edu-sign up. And I'm actually going to try to take us there as well, just to show you what happens. So this is actually, I'm actually signed in. Oh, I can't sign out because then I'll lose my presentation. Yeah. When you go there, you are actually going to need to go to, darn it. Let me go back. I should have thought that through a little better. You're actually going to go to the sign up with your Google account if you have not done that before. When you do that, it's going to ask you for your school, or you can put in Redlands Unified School District as your school. Either one of those, it should bring it up. If it doesn't, that's okay. Go ahead and type it in, and then it will verify you. Now, most of the time, I made everybody here in the office try it, and they were able to get verified very quickly. So it should be okay for most of you. But if you're at a school that nobody has used Canva at before, it may take a while for that to verify. They'll have to just go in and look and make sure that it's a real school. So go ahead and do that process so that you get the education account. And one thing that is good to note with the education account is that all of the pro features are going to be available for you. So there are literally thousands, and I'm not joking, thousands of images, sounds, videos, templates, all kinds of things that are available for you through the pro. So you'll notice when we start looking at things that sometimes it'll have a little pro symbol in the bottom corner. And if you do have this education account, then you will still be able to use those. So that's an added benefit. All right. Keep going. The other thing that you're going to want to think about is if you're going to be using this with students in Google Classroom. They are integrated together now. And so it's a really easy, convenient way to get your students into their Canva account because they also have the education account for free. They don't have to go through that same process as you do if you do it this way. So there will be a couple of things here that you'll want to set up once you get into your Canva account. And two things to note here that it will be one way for you to get your students into their account. You can do it just that way. So if you just want to have them go to canva.com and get into their account that way and create things, and then you can go in and look at them that way, I'll show you how you can do that. The other thing would be if you are using Google Classroom and you want to share this to Google Classroom, then basically what happens is it gives them a link directly to that exact assignment, and they go in there and do all of the work on the Canva assignment in Canva, and then you are exchanging it back and forth in there. So this is one of the things that you can do with Canva. So it's really exciting to be able to have all of these templates available for your students to use for projects, book reports, goal setting. There's all kinds of things in here. But to do that, like I said, we do need to get started with having your students into your Canva space or classroom. So let me just jump really quick into, oops, I forget I have to go down here. There we go. So now in my Canva account, you'll see this is going to be your icon up here with your account. You can go that way, or you can go to your settings. Both are going to take you to the same spot. You'll see when I click on here, I have settings, which is the same thing as this one, account settings. So either one, you're going to click on that. They're not going to make this easy to find. It's really kind of weird, if you ask me. Once you get into your settings, you'll see all of your information. You need to go to billings and teams, which I know sounds crazy. You don't have to pay for anything. I don't know why they have them together. But when you click on billings and teams, you'll see the spot where you can create a class. Think of this, though, as just a Canva class or more like a space that they're going to be going into. If you're using this with your students, this is one of the ways, like I said, you have to get them into Canva the first time anyways. So you're going to click on create a new class, and you get some options that come up here. You're going to put in whatever title you want. You can always go back and change it. And I'm going to call this one a demo so I don't forget. When you create the class, you're going to get a blank space here first. There we go. And let's see here. We can go to that class on the side here. That's where I can edit things. So you'll see when I go up to the name, if I wanted to change it, I can always click edit. Maybe I wanted to actually fix this like it should be, or you can change it completely, whatever is easiest for you. You can also change this background here. So very similar to like what we do with Google Classroom. You can create a banner. They have some that you can choose from already. There are some templates, of course, to pick other ones that are in there. So let's see here. I'll just pick this one because it's different from anything I've done, so it won't look the same. And then I'm just going to click update on here. But you can search in this search box for pretty much anything. So whatever you want your banner to look like, you could make them different for different class periods, for example, different subjects if you are elementary, however you want to do that. Now, this is the space within Canva. To get your students into this space, you're going to go to people. And there's a couple of ways that you can do this here. So the easiest way to do it is import them from Google Classroom if you're already using that. It'll take a second, and then it'll bring up your classrooms, and you can choose the one that you want to link or import your students from. So for this one, let's see, I'm going to pick this one and import it. When you do that, where did it go? Oh, I picked one that didn't have any students in it. Sorry. When you do that, There you go. You'll see all of their email addresses will pop up. Now, have no fear. Elementary, it doesn't matter if they don't get their emails, that's okay. But what you want to do is make sure that you click on the send invitations. So you'll go down to the bottom of the list of students and click on send invitations, and that will send them an email. So from here, I've tried it a couple of different ways and it's worked both times. You can actually have them go to that email and click it, and then they get into the space in Canva. Or you could then create an assignment in Google Classroom. And when you do that and they click on it, it takes them to the exact same spot within Canva. So I don't really know why they have to send the email, besides the fact that they're acknowledging that they're in the Canva space. But again, if they don't ever go to their email and do that, it still works. So I've tried it with both elementary and secondary students, and it has worked both ways. Once your students are in here, you'll see that you have two spaces here, your class itself, and that takes you kind of to your homepage where you can create folders. You'll have templates eventually. You could create apps, and then it'll show you the people that are in there as well. You will also have a spot for your classwork. And so there's lots of different things that you'll start seeing popping up as you start assigning more to them. So let me just show you a different one that I've done here earlier today. Actually, I think this was yesterday, but same idea. So now I've switched to a different Canva class that I've created. And you'll see down here all of the recent things that I was kind of playing around with, pushing out to the students, like I said, the elementary and secondary, to see if they could get to it. What will happen is when you share something with this group or your Canva class, then you can share it to them in Google Classroom and it shows up as a regular assignment. So for example, let me show you this one. I can open this. And up at the top here, course, the last part to there it goes in the jelly beans, which I know sounds again crazy. When you click on that, you'll see that Google Classroom icon, and you'll want to just click there. And because it's already set up with your Google Classroom, I'm just going to hit continue. And it looks exactly like when you're creating assignments. So it's going to ask you what you want to do here. Of course, it's going super fast. Demo. And then if you want it to be an assignment or an announcement, material, whatever you want to do, and go. When you do it that way, it automatically is making it an editable version for the students. So when they click on their assignment in Google Classroom, it's going to take them into Canva, and then they could create text boxes. For this one, for example, these are all things that they can move around. So it would be like a drag and drop. They would be able to do all of that. They will have all of the tools, which I'll go over in a second, but they'll have all of that available to them. So kind of a nice way to get those assignments to them. If you're not using Google Classroom, you can still go ahead and get things to them by using the share feature up here. And so, wait, let me go back to home. Sorry. So that we don't get confused. I'll pick something different. Which window? The one in the classroom or the one with the assignment?
The one with the assignment.
Okay, let me get to that real quick for you. Oh, did I pick the same thing? Duh. I want to go here. When you find an assignment that you want, you simply click on it first. When it gets large, like full screen, then you'll be able to do a couple of different things. So this is where you would share it if you're doing a Google Classroom in the jelly beans, which of course, again, is the last thing to load. You can do it that way. Or you can do this share here. So you would want to then make it so that the students can edit or view it. And then you're going to copy that link and get that to them. Obviously, the easiest way to do it is going to be through Google Classroom. So we would recommend doing it that way. But I know that there's some people that are using things like Seesaw or other ways that they share links with their students. And so that would get them to it. So just as kind of a recap here, the first thing to do would be to get your students in to Canva. So somehow you have to get them in that way. The easiest way, again, is through Google Classroom. If you aren't using Google Classroom, you'll notice in my account settings, and then in my billings and teams, besides using Google Classroom to create the new class, to manage. Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Billings and teams, new class. All right. Besides sharing it through Google Classroom to get your students in, there is a class code that you can do to get people in. So let me go to the People tab. Again, you'll want to be at your kind of home page or landing page. Up along the top here is People. Originally, we did the classroom, Google Classroom piece, but we do have an invite link. So you can do that. If your students are receiving email, that would only be for secondary, but you can send that link to them in an email. Or you can do this code. And so this might also be a way for your students to get in. They would need to go to this website still. So possibly doing it for them if you're elementary the first time, and then putting in the class code. Notice that this code changes every 4 hours, even though it's still going to get into your same Canva class. That's just a safety feature that they put in so that it doesn't allow other people to try to enter your class later. But you could have it both ways. So maybe you have some class helpers that are available to help them get to this website first and do that. They only have to do that one time. And then after that, they can go directly to Canva. So lots of ways to get your students in, but you have to get them to Canva first. And then you can start sharing things with them however you share, whether that be a link or Google Classroom, whatever you want to do. So lots of easy ways to share things that way with your students. Let me go back to my presentation. Went through those 4. So let's talk a little bit about templates and what you can actually do in here. So the templates are crazy amazing. Again, I told you that my presentation today is done with a template that I found. I did not create any of this. All I did was go in and literally click on something and change it if I needed to. Anytime you click on something, when you get that blue box around it, that's how you know which piece that you are actually going to be able to edit. And when you click on it, all of the tools that are available for it will show up along the top. So for example, this one is an image, so it doesn't have things like font or font size, but I can do like some cropping, or I could flip the image. I can edit the image. Right now, oops, I clicked it twice. It's actually just going to be these little stars, and that's kind of just something you have to get used to. For me, I know it's the little stars right now because that gray background kind of swatch, it is not inside the blue box completely. It goes all the way outside of it. So if I wanted to just fix those little stars, I have some options here. You'll see that you can kind of change the brightness or contrast. Depending on what you have clicked will depend on what features you have available that you can change. So for example, let me see if I can get this gray one, has the same thing. Of course, none of these. There we go. So when you are in text, it's kind of nice because you can actually change the text right there, and it will change it. You don't have to do any highlighting or anything like that. It'll automatically do it for you. If you change something and you don't like it, thank goodness they have this little undo feature, or you can do Control Z and go back as many times as you need to get back to what you need. So you can change any of these pieces that you want. You can click on them and move them. So if you ever find a template and you don't want something, you can even delete them. So all of that is possible to do. Some of the images you can actually even change the color. So for example, when I'm on these little lines here, this time it gives me the option of changing the color up here on the top. And so when I click it, it's going to give me a couple of different things. And again, I know this seems crazy overwhelming, but start playing with it when you get a second and you'll see it's not that bad. The first piece that I really, 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 really like is that it gives you all of the colors that are used in the document. So if you want to match something, it is very easy to match it. Looks exactly the same as this piece here, and now I've changed that color there. You also have the ability to use the colors that are there just so that it kind of is complementary to each other. You also have additional photo colors here. So you'll see that it's kind of broken down by this part of the image that I've got here, or these two colors here. So really nice, again, for kind of matching features. You can expand that even further, and it breaks it down to all the different pieces. So this is where the graphic design piece really comes into play. And it gives you those tools that makes your presentations look really, really slick and fancy. So you have lots of possibilities there. I'm going to, let's see, I think it was this one. We'll stick with that for now. I'm going to get out of my photo colors. Again, you can edit the image with lots of different possibilities of duotones and those types of pieces. You can actually add different things in. So you've seen probably presentations before where it looks like it's actually on a computer screen or a phone. You can scroll further and see even more of them. You can always crop, which means that you're just going to technically cut part of it off. Let's go up. Oh, it doesn't want to crop. Nope, that's just going to resize. It should cut off one side of it when we're cropping. What happened here? Crop. Doesn't want to crop this piece, of course. You know, the best laid plans. Let's see. Let's see if flip will work. Yep, that one works. So you can play around with things. I don't know why it's not cropping this one. Ah, it took it out of the image completely. So what it has done is just made it within this square, the part that you can see. So let's put that back in there. We're just going to see that part now. And you can see that it's made those pieces a little bit different size. So lots of possibilities with templates. I think one of my most favorite things is you'll notice that this picture here with all of the different templates in the background is actually a snip that I took off of my computer. And I just want to move this around a little bit for you. Nope, not like that. There we go. You'll see here that my whole picture actually looked like this. And what I've done is actually put in a shape for it to make the picture look like it's got an outline or a shape to it. So we're going to play with that in just a second, and I'll show you how to do all of that. The point being of this one is that there are so many templates that you can literally just take what they've got already in there and start messing around with it and making it yours. That's probably the easiest way to get used to all of this. But know that there are tons and tons of things that you can do in here as far as changing or creating on your own. So let's go ahead and get started with creating a design. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to take you back to the templates, and I'm going to have you go in. If you're not in Canva yet, if you could open up a tab and go to canva.com. If you already have an account, you can go in that way. If you need to get the EDU account, you can always get that later to link what you've done. But I wanted to play around a little bit with the templates real quick, because with the templates up here along the top, you'll see that there are all kinds of things that you can click on and look for that are already kind of programmed for you. So you can look through those and see what looks interesting and just put them in, kind of click and see what happens. So here's all different kinds of certificates. It breaks it down even further, where you could do, for example, a school certificate. And then again, when you find something that looks interesting, you can click on it and customize. And literally all you're going to have to do is change like the names that are on there. If you wanted to change the colors or add, for example, a school logo, you could do all of that. Again, it's taking forever. There it goes. So once it finishes loading, you'll see this text box here. Of course, see now I'm looking at this and I would want to fix that typo right away. This certificate is proudly present to, not them. Put my own name in here. But it's literally as simple as just clicking the text box and typing. Again, you can change fonts if you choose, whatever you want to do to make it your own. Again, this little icon here is the pro icon, but with your education account, you get all of those. So you can use anything that you see here as far as having the pro. So again, finding templates is a real quick and easy way to get started. But sometimes looking up here at the template ideas, it's kind of limiting. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to go back to home. From any of the pages, but most likely, or most certainly on the home page, you'll get this box up here where you can search anything on Canva. So I'm going to ask you to put in any word. It works best with nouns, but it can literally be anything. So for example, I'm going to put in rain and rainbow because I didn't do that one yet. And you'll see here what comes up. So just by putting in rainbow, I have 2,825 templates available. So obviously rainbow is very broad and that's a lot of templates to go through. So you could take it even further and do a rainbow calendar and try to narrow it down some more. And now I'm down to 38 options. So take a second right now and just look for any random word. I mean, it literally can be anything. There are thousands and thousands of ideas in here. And just see what you find. Just see what comes up. You'll be surprised, I think, that you can find most anything.
I've got a quick question while people do that. To
Sure.
get like verified, it's just signing in through your Google Classroom. I mean your redlands.schools, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Yep. Did you go to the sign up?
Yeah, the edu dash sign up. Yeah,
Yep,
I did
one.
it that way. I just didn't know if maybe there was an extra step, like go to settings and I don't know.
No, nope.
Okay.
That's it. It's that easy. And they just have committed to making it free for educators. So it's really nice. When you find some templates, you'll start noticing a few things. Again, those pro ones are available to you with your educator's account. You'll also notice when they say things like 1 of 2 or 2 of 2, they'll start flipping through when you hover over the design. So for example, this one here has 7 different options. And when I hover over it, I can see all of them. This one down here only has 1. So it's only going to have 1 page to it. You can favorite things. So if you see that star, or when you see the star on there and you click on it, it's actually going to star it for you. And then you'll be able to find all of your starred ones from home so that you can get back to the ones that you like more quickly. And so let's see here. Nope.
I have one more question. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
So for I teach an Avid elective, and for Avid we make a lot of videos. I won't get in trouble like copyright for using like maybe like a little layout. Like I can post it like on a video. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's okay.
Copyright issues.
You're not selling them or anything like that.
No. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So when you star things, you're going to go back to your projects and you'll see that you have some folders here. This starred folder is where you're going to start finding things that you've starred. So that's kind of an easy way to start organizing them. You can also do through here where you can create your own folders. So instead of them all being starred, if you wanted to break them down by units or subject areas or themes, you can start saving them that way. But again, the nice part with, the templates is when you find one that you like, oh, I should have done the rainbow calendar. When you find one, you just click on it and it fills your screen. And that's how you know that you now can start editing things. So for example, I'm just going to play around with this one here. Okay. So again, at this point, you can click on anything, and when it gets that blue box around it, it's going to allow you to change anything. You can change colors. This one you see has 3 different colors, so you could change just one of them or all 3 of them simply by clicking, and then it shows you complementary colors that are already part of the presentation. You can scroll down and see your additional pages. You can move these around if you want by simply clicking the up and down arrows. You can duplicate the page, so it's literally going to duplicate the whole thing. Notice right now that there are 7 pages here, but if I duplicate one of them, now I have 8 pages. Or you can get rid of it by simply trashing it here. So now I'm back to 7. Super easy way to get started, like I said, is using these templates. You can click the whole page and you see the blue square or outline now is around the entire thing, which means you would be doing this background. So you'll see that color choice up here. I could change it. I don't want to match anything. Hang on. That's okay. But you can change the colors that way. This one here, same kind of thing. It has this piece. You can sometimes animate them depending on which part it is. There you go. So that one would move in on its own if you wanted to do that. So that's really nice when you are going to be presenting it up here. Oops. Nope, this one goes to our class. This one's not a presentation. I apologize. The other features that you have are the positioning of things. So bringing it forward and backward. You have those features. The copy of the style of something. So if you wanted to reduplicate it on a different slide with this, for example, the same font, you can use this feature. Another great feature is the transparency piece. And so on this one, you'll notice that this is going to start making whatever box is highlighted the transparency. So for example, I'm on this box right now, but if I were to do the whole box, which would be the background, oh, I can't transparency this one. I'll show you how to do it on a picture. Some other things that are nice if you are going to be sharing with your students would be to lock things in place, similar to kind of using that theme builder that Google Slides has, where you're building it in the background and then they can't accidentally delete or change anything. So let me just go back here. If I wanted to do all of this, I would go onto this box here and Control A. Anything that's got that blue outline again is what I'm going to lock right now. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh man. When you hit this little lock feature, it will then keep it in place. And so then nobody can move anything around. Now, granted, they could go up there and when they get their copy, they could unlock it. So that's one of those things that you kind of need to keep an eye on and make sure that they understand that if they're losing things frequently, that's probably why. But it is nice that you can kind of make it that way. The other thing that's really good on here is, let's see here, let me find a different one. Oh, there we go. You can actually see that it's going to start making recommendations for you. So you'll notice on mine, I've used it a lot, but it's starting to realize that I want kind of elementary style of things. That's what I've clicked on all day today. So it starts giving you suggestions or recommendations based on what things you've been clicking around with. It will also show you similar things. So if you didn't see this in the templates and you go, oh, now it catches my eye, this might be something that you want to use instead, you can simply click on it and then you can add just a page or you can change the whole thing. So you can do all 4 pages that quickly. So it's super easy to make those changes and to kind of add to it if you want to. When you find it, you can always change the title so that it's more of your own, kind of start using your own naming conventions so that you can remember where things are. You can also share amongst other teachers. So if they have Canva accounts, you'll just go to Canva, to share up here, and you can start typing in their email address. Oh, come on. I wanted it to start populating. There you go. And then you can decide what they should be allowed to do. Same again, you have the view only, or if you're collaborating with them and you want them to edit, you can do that. And then you simply send it off to them. And I can also invite her to my team if I want to, but you don't have to. So kind of nice when you're making things, if you want to share them with your team at school, you can do that as well. So it's an easy way to do that. The next thing that I did want to do is give you an opportunity to start actually creating. So now that we've played around with some of the templates, we're going to go ahead and create a design together. So if you would go back to your homepage of Canva, and we're actually going to, you can do anything that you want to. If you can't think of something to do, I'm going to walk you through how to make what's going to look like a business card almost. And then if you want, you can always use this as your signature in your email. So that's how I've done mine. Let me show you what that looks like. So on my email, I have created a signature down at the bottom. That just looks like a small business card. When I write my messages, it's automatically there. It's automatically there. Slowly but surely. It should be right here. Oh no, of course it's not right here. It's still loading. Oh my gosh. I promise it works. Okay. Maybe not right now, but I will show you. It will make for us a image that we can put in as your signature. So let's take a look at how we can do this in Canva. What I'm going to recommend, if you don't know what to make and you just want to follow along right now, let's do, I'm sorry, we're going to do business card, and that'll give you a good size. And I'm just going to search for it. And I'm going to walk you through building the features. If you wanted to make a worksheet or a calendar or a newsletter or a flyer, you can make infographics. There's all kinds of things that you can make with your blank right now to play around with. Go ahead and do that. But I just thought this would be an easy way to kind of build something together. So we're going to start with a blank business card. And we're going to go through the features. So the first one that we're going to start with is obviously titling it. So up in the top right, there we go. I'm just going to call mine my signature. And then by clicking out of it, it just makes that name again. You can close this if it's too distracting, or you can pick one of these if you want to and still make changes. I'm going to keep mine completely blank and go through the pieces that are here. So right now I have templates, elements, uploads, text, or logos. I actually want to go ahead and click more, and I'm going to start with a background. So background is going to fill the whole rectangle for us. And again, you can use any of the ones that are here simply by clicking on it, and it will add it to it. You can search a color if you want. So if you just wanted to put in the name of a color, you can put that in. Let's see, I could even do rain. I seem to be on a rain kick today, and do that. Anything that you want to use as your background, you can actually even put in, for example, like textures. So like grass, come up. You could choose anything that you wanted as your background. So this part's kind of fun to start playing around with. This is the part, though, that I wanted to do some fading or transparency. So again, this little checkerboard up in the top, when you click on that, if you will just kind of play around with it and slide it, you don't want it to be too overwhelming, but you kind of want it to still be visible. So there's no magic number because it really depends on how dark your picture is to begin with. Obviously, complete transparency shows nothing. And then all the way at 100%, there it goes, is the original image. So I'm going to go just a little bit more so it's not so overwhelming. And then from there, I'm going to start adding a few things. So the first thing that I'm going to go to is elements. And this would be where you can put in like clip art or images. You can put in shapes or backgrounds. You will see here that if I go down further, I was talking earlier about making the picture into a different shape. And so you can click on any of these and put it where you want it to go first. And when it has this kind of fake scenery background, what you can do then is find an image. Let's see here. I will put school as my image. And when you find it, you're literally just going to drag it when it gets that kind of see-through transparency and you let go of it, it goes into that frame. So you can then move it around. I can double click it and change the part that is showing through in the frame and then click out of it. I can increase the size of that if I want to, all kinds of things. You'll also start to see some grid lines. So for example, you saw the purple there up at the top and at the bottom. You can also slide towards the center. So there's a line going across. That means it's directly in the center. You can get it, whoops, there's the top to bottom. You can get it just right in the center when it's got both going up and down and across. So it's really nice to be able to get it just right. So super fun to be able to change those. Ooh, I'm going to change this picture instead. I'm going to double tap that one and delete it. Let me put this in. Ooh, that'll be fun. So now you've got that. You could add as many pictures as you want to. You can separate it into photos or graphics. They've got all kinds of stuff here, even the audio, like I said. Obviously, you wouldn't want audio in your signature line, but you could do that if you wanted to. You can even upload your own images. So you'll see here that you can get things directly from your Google Drive and do it that way. Same thing for videos and audio. You would just simply click the upload media, and then you would be able to get your own pictures if you wanted. Also in the elements, besides doing, excuse me, there we go. Besides doing the frames that go around, again, you can do any of these regular pictures that are full sizes, or you can do what they call graphics, where you can resize them. Remember that this one here, I can change the color. So I can make it a different color if I want to. And you can resize those as well. This piece will allow you to rotate items. Whoops. There we go. So lots of possibilities with that for the elements. The other piece, I'm actually going to delete that because I don't want that as part of mine. The other piece is you might want to obviously add some text in there. And when you go to the text feature, you'll notice that you can do 3 kind of basic text boxes. So a heading will have the font and size like this, or subheading, or just a small piece of text, or they have some pre-done ones that are super fancy. So for example, let's see if I pick this one, it's going to make it way too big. So I'm going to resize it and put it over here. I'm going to double click this and just type the letter H. Maybe I just want my initial to be in here as part of my signature. And again, you can change the color of that. So let's make it match a little bit better. You can change the font. Ugh, that's horrible. There we go. But lots of options that you can do with some of these fancy fonts that are over here. You've probably seen a lot of these and you'll start recognizing them from things that people use, for example, when they're building items for Teachers Pay Teachers. A lot of the pieces that people use, they've created right here in Canva. So some of these will start looking familiar to you, but now you too can make your own. I would also want to do, for example, a text box. That is going to be, oops, for example, my name. Make that bigger. Let's go with 20. And I'll make it bold. Oh, there we go. So whatever information you wanted to have as part of your signature, you would be able to add that there. If you put your email, oh, they already have your email, your extension for your phone number, or any other way for Class Dojo, however you want them to, other ways to communicate with you. When it is all finished, you are simply going to go to this little download arrow. This would be the same thing that you would do if you were doing a presentation for your class, like the slide deck that I used today, or a flyer or a newsletter. If it is just going to be a picture, you can do it as a PNG. It will usually suggest the right thing for you. I will tell you that the presentation that I shared with you, I did in the PDF version. And it says right here that it was a small file size, but it has multiple pages. And so that way, when I'm sharing it with you, you can scroll through the pages and it doesn't have everything kind of all jumbled together. But this time I'm just going to do it as a PNG that will allow me to add a picture to my signature line. And I'm going to download it, I think. There we go. And now we're going to add this to our signature. I'll just open it here. In your Outlook account, I think I deleted mine last time when I was checking it, that's why. When you get into here, there is a settings feature up here on the top. There it is. So that little settings wheel, when you click on that, you'll want to go to all Outlook settings. And then there's a part called Compose and Reply. So right here, when you open that, there we go. Oh, see, now my old one showed up. You can add a new signature. And you're going to click on the picture. And I'm going to get it from my downloads. There it is. Of course, that's too big. So when you click on it, it gets that outline again. And then you can resize it if you want to rename it. So let's see, my old one was 2021. This will be 22. And save. Oh, there it is. So now when you send an email, you will have a signature that's automatically on there, hopefully. Yay. So this was just a fun, easy way to kind of show you how you can create something and download it, save it as either an image or a PDF, and then you would be able to share it. So for example, what I did with our presentation for today, when I downloaded it, I added it to my Drive, and then I was able to get the link for you all and just share that link with everybody. So I just got it saved in here now. I didn't even need to go to Canva. I could do it directly from here. I was also able to not do that at all. If I wasn't going to be sharing it with you, I can always go directly to Canva and present directly from here. So this one here, I can present in full screen as well. So today was a little bit tricky because I was jumping in and out trying to show you different pieces, but you'll see here that it is possible to present directly from Canva and use it that way, which is super fun and easy, mostly because they also have these features. So they have what they call magic keys. And when you are presenting, then you can use the magic keys. So for example, they have bubbles, they have confetti. There is even a curtain. So it will be like this. For example, if you wanted to put your presentation up before the kids come in the room, you could have the curtain there, and then you can open that curtain. I have to remember how to do it. It's U, which I never remember. There you go. And to find those, it's just down here. It's not as fancy as it looks. They actually have a tiny keyboard down at the bottom. And when you click on it, it gives you the list of everything that they offer as their magic keys. So for example, blur is another good one. Let me get out of there. Blur. Again, if you wanted to stop the presentation for a second and the kids are needing to focus on you, you can do the blur feature. They also have a timer. So that piece is kind of nice. It only goes up to 9 minutes, but you'll see it starts going down. The water is going to start emptying out of the circle. You can even go by pressing 0. It does just a 3, 2, 1 countdown and gets them back to that. So kind of nice that they have all of those pieces that are not available in Google Slides. So fun things there that you can do as well. This is a lot of information. I know that it is, and I apologize for going over everything so quickly. But I wanted to get into the basics of how to kind of use Canva and the getting started with creating something. There are so many other things that you can do. For example, they also have a Facebook group that they have that's just for educators. They are on Instagram. There are tons of YouTube videos out there. If anybody's on TikTok, I know that's crazy to say, but I'm on TikTok and I literally went down a rabbit hole this weekend just for Canva stuff. And that's how I found out about the magic keys and everything else. So there's a lot more to it, but this will definitely get you started. And it'll be, if you just want to use it for yourself, like I said, for newsletters or if you played around with the templates, you can even look for seating charts, lesson plans, sub plans. There are literally templates for everything. Or if you want to start pushing things out to your students and going over the tools with them, you can do that as well through Google Classroom or just giving them that invite link. And then that gets them into their Canva account and they can use all of the tools as well. Lots to do in here. I highly, highly recommend that you continue to play around with it. For example, there are even some things on their homepage that will help you with color choices or font combinations. The list just goes on and on and on. It really is an easy way to make it seem like you really know what you're doing. And we all look like graphic design artists when we're done with this. So it also gives away our secrets, all of the things that we use. Not all of the things, because we do our newsletter in Google Slides, but we create a lot of things like for our website, we've created buttons or images to put on our Google Sites website, and we make them in Canva and then push them over that way. So you now know our secrets on how we've managed all of this. It's all very fancy, but they make it very easy to look like you know what you're doing. And if something comes up later with any questions about Canva, feel free to reach out. We're here for you. And anybody in the office can ask, but I'd be happy to respond with you or meet up or try to do something fun and exciting in here. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Enjoy.